Hello, my name is John Bannon. I'm an attorney and philosopher. In today's video, I'm going to explain to you why superdeterminism is real. When I refer to superdeterminism, I'm referring to a very specific version of superdeterminism called Hansonian superdeterminism, which was proven by Swedish theoretical physicist Dr. Johan Hansen. And you can find his proof in the peer-reviewed physics journal, Physics Essays, Volume 33, Number 2, June of 2020, pages 216 to 218. Dr. Hansen proved that we live in three dimensions of space and one static dimension of time in this fourth dimensional static block universe without cause and effect in physics or physical causation or probabilistic causation. However, there is an easy way to prove the same thing without using Einstein's special relativity and the uh, laws of physics, including quantum entanglement and quantum mechanics. So, this is just a simple way to understand why superdeterminism is real. So, first, motion is only needed for our conscious perception of the universe. So if you close your eyes and imagine for a second that you don't exist, but the universe does, because obviously you need a universe to exist in the first place. So the universe must exist, whether you're in it or not. Um, what does that universe look like to you? Well, you can't tell whether there's motion or not. So motion isn't necessarily an inherent property of the universe. So when you close your eyes and for a second imagine you're not conscious, then you realize that motion is really a perception of consciousness. We perceive motion. But the universe itself doesn't seem to need it one way or the other. So everything in the universe can just as easily be explained by a block universe without motion. That's the B theory of time. So you have the A theory of time, which is presentism, or the idea of a present now moment constantly changing in a flow of moving time. Then you have the B theory of time, which is about a static block universe. Uh, and that means the past, present, and future are equally real. So both interpretations are plausible interpretations of our universe. But the B theory does not require motion because it's a static block. So um, you can just as easily explain our universe under a B theory of time. But our universe can exist without our conscious perception of it. So you can imagine a universe in which consciousness never arises without any need of motion whatsoever. Because such a universe, being existentially the same as our universe, uh, means that our universe does not require motion to exist. So, because motion is a perception, and you only need motion for conscious perception. And because you can imagine a universe in which conscious beings never come to arise into existence, then you can imagine a universe that never has conscious perception in it. And therefore, there's no need for motion because motion is only needed for conscious perception. Well, if that's true, then that imaginary universe is just um, as real in terms of its existential value as our universe. And therefore, our universe doesn't need motion either. So, this shows that motion is not an inherent property of our universe. Because you can imagine a universe that never has conscious beings in it. And therefore, it doesn't need motion. And what's good for that universe is good for our universe. So, therefore, motion cannot be an inherent property of our universe. And if motion is not an inherent property of our universe, then we live in a superdeterministic block universe. We live in a universe covered by the B theory of time, in which there is no motion. So, because cause and effect in physics is a dynamic process that requires motion, then physical causation is not an inherent property of our universe either. So, because motion is not an inherent property of our universe, then cause and effect cannot be an inherent property of our universe either. This means that cause and effect in physics are not real. So, if cause and effect in physics are not real, then present events cannot actually cause future events. But because future events arrive nonetheless, then they must be real, existing somewhere. And the only place they could exist would be a hidden static dimension of time. That means that all events in our universe, past, present, and future, are all equally real, and they all presently exist in our static block universe. And this means that you are an immortal in the static block universe because all the events of your life, from your birth to your death, must all exist equally real and presently exist in the static block universe itself. And they're permanent because there's nothing that can cause them to change. So you have what I call a block life, uh, which is all the events of your life from birth to death that exist as an information packet in the static dimension of time. And that block life is permanent, which means you're an immortal. Now, your block life is finite in duration, but the entire segment of that finite duration in the static dimension of time is itself permanent, which technically makes you an immortal. All right, well, I hope you learned something, and I'll give you a second to read the board. All right, until next time, take care.